So you're under Homeland Security. I was recently watching an interview by Joe Rogan, actually, and he was talking about how Homeland Security is the team that invaded Diddy's house.
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge on like why they went to his house and invaded it? And do you have any knowledge on that situation?
I have no direct knowledge of the investigation, so I have not taken a part in it. And if I had, I would not be able to say it because it's an ongoing criminal investigation.
Yeah,
which,
right.
But what I can say is that I believe it involved sex trafficking of minors. That the reason it seemed like an overwhelming response to a search warrant, like why you bring, deals with kind of the people he has around protecting, him and his property, their criminal histories, things like that. So, if you have a security guard that, has a previous homicide conviction and he's armed, well, the cops are going to treat the search warrant in a different way. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that the level of probable cause that would go into getting the higher executives at Homeland Security had to sign off on that. Judge had to sign off on that. The prosecutor's office had to sign off on that. And knowing that it would be someone, that's going to be high profile, it's going to be able to hire 20 defense attorneys to try to pick everything apart. Yeah. That it would have to be a pretty solid affidavit and allegation
for them to even go after him like that.
Yeah.
So the idea of Hollywood and kind of these people with these pedophilia rings and things like that, and that truly takes place. You got the Jeffrey Epstein case. What are your thoughts on kind of because that also is kind of a conspiracy that people think that kind of these higher up people are involved in these pedophilia rings, and then you got the Jeffrey Epstein case and kind of the defendants in his case, which were a lot of really well-known individuals and things like that. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, there's corruption. Like, I have no doubt about that. That case is just wrought with problems. Like, I had no involvement in it, none whatsoever. But
you've seen enough to know that that's going on.
It stinks. Like, my question is this: how do you charge Ghislaine Maxwell in human trafficking when you can't prove who she trafficked a human to? Mm-hmm. You have to have an end user, right? Yeah. To follow this, right? Yeah. So if I was going to sell drugs, you would have to prove that I sold them to a person, right? Yeah. So if I'm going to traffic a person, you'd have to prove that I sold it to a person. Yeah. What in any documents came out of who these kids were trafficked to?
So you saying you think it's false?
No, I think they absolutely traffic kids. Yeah. And I think that there's
people... you're saying the people on the receiving end, that's the people we need to be going after as well.
Yes, the people who are having sex with the 14-year-olds or the 16-year-olds, paying for it, flying to an island. Like, to cross out of our country with the intent to have sex with a child is a felony. You're going to do 10 years. Yeah. Like,
is the idea that there's these very powerful people, whether it's politicians, whether it's Hollywood movie stars, or different people of that caliber that are really into this type of stuff? Do you think that to be the case?
I don't think so. So I think that there is, like, true pedophilia, is prepubescent, right? That's 11 or under. And I think most of the people in the Epstein case, the P. Diddy case, whatever, are probably going to be in that 14 to 18 range, which is more called hebephilia. That somebody after the onset of puberty, but still a child. So I think that's in those circles what the problem or what their focus is, what they're trying to get access to. And I think then actual pedophilia, the raping of children, is a completely different thing. And I don't think there are big rings where that's happening, where people are trafficking in 2-year-olds or 1-month-olds or those kind of things.
Right. Okay, so because I actually, just being around, I kind of think the opposite. I kind of think there are a lot of people that you would never suspect, and they're powerful people that have a great background and they would come off as super clean cut or whatever, but on the side they're involved in some crazy things. Ryan Garcia, the boxer, recently came out and talked about how the Bohemian Grove, I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't.
It's basically, he said he was brought into the woods as and forced to watch. You know, some people might call him crazy, whatever. The Bohemian Grove is a real place, and kind of forced to watch, you know, people partake in, you know, this type of stuff with children. And he said himself, he was raped as a young child. But I think it's interesting talking to someone who works certain of these cases. And I don't know if it's that these people are so high up and so protected that they get away with it. And, you know, the people that are kind of messy with it and the ones that are kind of like, leave too many things behind are the ones that get caught. But I kind of think it goes a lot higher and deeper than people suspect.